Test, test, test. Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. I'm actually standing today, so you guys might not see Loki as much. He's kind of hopping around. He's hopping on my desk, but you guys cannot see him. A lot to talk about here today, guys. It's going to be a lot of news, and at the same time, a lot of technicals, because things just seem to be popping off here every few minutes. We've had some good news, some bad news. I think overall the crypto market's in a really good spot, even though we showed some weakness. News in Argentina affected the Bitcoin market. We've just seen a whole bunch of chaos here. So we're going to go down through the list, and then we're going to go through technicals, because there's just so much to talk about. So much happened over the last few days, and it just seems that news is compounding on itself more and more and more as we go along here. So we'll talk about some AI stuff first, get that out of the way, because that's like the big hubbub. Then we're going to go over to crypto, because crypto has a lot of stuff going on right now, and then we'll go over to the charts and some of the data that we're looking at, because I mean, my oh my, just what a freaking weekend that we've had. So let's hop on over here to my display very fast. And hey, Alan, Time, Nicholas, and Sen, hope you guys are all having a good day. So before we start hopping into the news here, just a quick little pop. Bitcoin managed to hold on. We'll go more in depth here over the next few days, but Argentina's election seemed to give Bitcoin a little bit of a pop here, which is something that's very nice. If you guys did do those aggressive plays that we talked about, I believe Thursday, you guys are probably still making money and still holding. If you guys in it, no worries. You guys probably could have traded another breakout, or you guys are just holding and waiting for another opportunity. That's definitely a scenario here. But let's go over some of the news here, because again, it's just, everything has its own impact. I would say this doesn't have a massive impact on the crypto markets, but as on the overall markets about what's going on with AI, a lot of drama around this, and kind of a lesson of just not stop being stupid. I feel like this board was playing checkers, and Microsoft was playing not just chess, but like 4D chess, like that type of crazy experience. So we'll talk about this. We're not going to go into depth into this one, honestly, but hundreds of OpenAI employees threaten to follow Altman to Microsoft unless the board resigns. It seems like at this point in time, the board is going to be forced to resign. Now there's lawsuits pending against them, so everybody's saying, hey, if you don't put him back in there, we're going to be forced to sue because you guys made a very bad judgment call, in which case we don't think you guys are doing the best for the company. And I think that's going to be key here going forward. So just get ready for this. Sam's been tweeting over the last few hours, and he says, Satya, and my top priority remains to ensure OpenAI continues to thrive. We are committed to fully providing continuity of operations to our partners and customers. The OpenAI Microsoft partnership makes this very doable. The issue with this, if you guys are concerned with Microsoft at all in you guys' plays, is that a lot of people were hooked on OpenAI and ChatGPT and stuff like that for their consumer businesses. So think of like a major corporation, they're using AI and stuff like that. Now they're still using Microsoft, but maybe they may go look at Amazon's AI, more importantly Google's AI. So the people kind of shopping around a little bit, haven't decided to move just yet, but you're seeing that fever kind of freak people out. I think you guys all understand that large corporations, they want some semblance of security, stability, and just order. And right now OpenAI is nothing but order. It's complete chaos, and that's not going to change anytime soon until they get this resolved, which means the CEO that they currently have, which is their third in the past 3-4 days, that one's probably going to have to get fired, and they're going to have to bring Sam back on for a lot of these people to kind of stay with OpenAI, not fly somewhere else and get a better job, or just get a better product, right? Okay, so here's some of the big news that came out today as far as the cryptocurrency market. I'm happy that this didn't really have a massive negative effect on everything, but in reality, I don't know if Binance is actually going to pay this or if they just go to a trial, because it says that the United States government is seeking over $4 billion from Binance to end the criminal case. I don't think Binance should pay this. I really don't. I think they should just go to court. Everybody else has been winning against the SEC. Why can't Binance, right? The only reason they would pay for this is if something really bad is going on, and I don't think that's the case. We'll see what happens next, but I don't think they're going to pay this unless really to them $4 billion is a drop in the bucket. I don't think so. At best, it would have to be some type of payment plan, right? Was this the big news right here? There you go. Oh, I don't know why. There you go. We talked about Kraken, I want to say about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And it was interesting because we kind of talk about them as the person that's not as sexy of an exchange as like a Binance or a Fairdesk or in any other exchanges out there, right? But we assumed they were kind of following all the protocols, they were doing just fine, and they weren't trying to ruffle any feathers with the SEC. Apparently, the SEC does not care. They are going after Kraken of all things again, and so we're going to have to see how this situation works itself out. I think they're going to win this case pretty easily. It'll take a long time, but I think they're going to win. I think right now the SEC is flailing around and they don't know what to do because they keep on losing. And instead of having this mental change that, oh, okay, the courts say this is okay, this is okay, this is okay, they can't stop suing people. It's impossible for them to understand that they're in the wrong. But they hope by suing all these companies into oblivion, maybe that'll slow down some aspect of their growth, and maybe the slowing down of their growth will be enough time for them to maybe come up with some regulations. I don't know, but the fact that they're suing the Kraken of all exchanges makes no sense to me. Like, they could have gone after BitGit, Binance again, Coinbase, Robin. There were just so many choices, and Kraken seems to be the one that always tries to follow the rules, but it feels like they're not rewarded for trying to follow all the rules. Man, I've been chugging a lot of water today. Okay, let me read a little bit into this article here because this is why it's not going to make much sense. But according to the SEC's complaint, since at least September 2018, Kraken has made hundreds of millions of dollars unlawfully facilitating the buying and selling of crypto asset securities. Additionally, remember securities, that's the word there. Additionally, the commission says that Kraken combines the services of an exchange, broker, dealer, and clearing agency. However, the SEC alleges that Kraken does all of this without having registered any of these functions with them as required by law. Furthermore, the Securities and Exchange Commission is attempting to charge the Kraken crypto exchange with the following: providing a marketplace that brings together the orders for securities of multiple buyers and sellers using established non-discretionary methods under which such orders interact and thus operate as an exchange, engages in the business of effecting security transactions for the accounts of Kraken customers and thus operates as a broker, engages in the business of buying and selling securities for its account without an applicable exception and thus operates as a dealer, and serves as an intermediary in settling transactions in crypto asset securities by Kraken customers, acts as a securities depository, and thus operates as a clearing agency. So basically, almost every exchange does this. They're just trying to bring down another exchange. They're trying to get some news and hubbub. I don't think this is going to end well for anybody, but overall, I think the market's going to shrug this off just because the SEC is a bunch of losers now. I mean, that's what they are. They just can't seem to win any major cases. But they're still going to be using tax dollars to try to do all these cases and flail around. So I would encourage you guys tomorrow to check out Fox Business, CNBC, and Bloomberg as they talk about this stuff even more, because they will talk about this for about at least 10 to 20 minutes. It's up to you guys to find that. Normally, I would just go to YouTube and search for it sometime in the mid-morning hours. That's usually when it's kind of posted up. But I don't see how they're going to win this fight because they're classifying a whole bunch of cryptocurrencies as securities again. And we saw what happened last time. As soon as they start trying to get detailed, where it's like, you know, Ethereum's a security, but this isn't a security, but this is a security. I don't think they're going to do well. But let's move on here because there's a couple more things. X is officially filing a lawsuit against Media Matters. This is going to be interesting because it's just going to cause a lot of hullabaloo. If you guys have been watching the news over the last few days, you've been seeing the media try to drag Elon's name through the mud. I mean, I guess not really something of a surprise there, but it's causing a huge roar in the social media community, so just stay on top of that one. I won't go too deep into it, but it seems like it's going to be a pretty interesting case. I put out a tweet saying place your bets because it's just going to be an interesting lawsuit to kind of watch here. If it even goes forward, I don't know if they're going to try to settle or whatnot. That's Discord. Why even Discord? All right, here's the Bitcoin related one, and then we're going to go over to some some charts and watch for this breakout here as far as Bitcoin's concerned. I had been watching this election, but for whatever reason, I was not putting two and two together as far as Malay and Bitcoin. And so when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, well, let me see if this outsider can, get elected to become the president of the country, just because I don't think he's some crazy nut job. I don't even think he's necessarily like some type of great leader. I just think he's somebody that can fill the void because their establishment politicians have really like fucked up so bad over recent decades. So like these guys, we know they all suck, but does this guy suck? We don't know. Maybe he's good. And that's what they kind of voted for. But this caused a pop in Bitcoin. So that's what we're talking about right now. I'm going to go over here to the 4-hour chart. So, okay, this was interesting over the last few days because last time we talked, it was right around here. Yeah, Thursday evening. No, right here. Okay, we were talking right there. And I told you guys, I said an aggressive trader would try to buy this dip whenever it came and then ride it out to see where it goes. I told you guys as a short-term investor, I'd probably be selling up here. It did hit up there, but looks like it even went higher. It broke down temporarily and then it managed to pick back up. So it never actually broke down the 4-hour chart, or did it? I mean, I would say that's right on the edge. I'm not entirely sure how I would call that one. But regardless, now we're in a consolidation move. You've seen there were two nasty wicks that could have taken us down over the last 4 hours. Bears are still trying to pummel Bitcoin back down. And again, every time we have these big dumps, no matter what the technicals say, Bitcoin continues to get bought and back up. And I think that's just because some of those longer term technicals are helping us out a little bit. And we've had some big news events. Let's go back over here to the hour chart. Where was it? Last night, I think it was 6 o'clock. What's that time? I don't know if it was around this time the election was called. 6 a.m. I'm not entirely sure what the time the news was in Argentina. I doubt it was one of these. Was it Sunday? Forget about it. It caused Bitcoin to pump, and that was something of a surprise to me. But if I go over here to the 5-minute chart, I just want you guys to see this. We've had a few dump attempts. They have not been successful, but don't be surprised if we have one more dump here beforehand. The way I'm looking at this is we have the forward momentum. Not necessarily the time to buy. Like I said before, day traders usually are going to be winning these trades at this point in time. I'm not doing any swing trades yet, mostly because we haven't had that confirmed breakdown. And of course, just recently we had that golden cross. I'm waiting for a bump right back up here to test out maybe 38,000, 37,900. And then from there, we can see if things get more exciting and, we get more rejuvenated, so to speak. But at least for now, day traders, again, are still going to be winning the day here. You guys can see on the hour chart. Oh, I don't have my oscillators up here. There you go. Momentum is still strong, but stalling out just a tad. 4-hour chart. MACD still going strong. Stochastic still going strong. And so it looks like we just have one more pump left in us. We'll see if we can get the big pump here. But again, whales are going to have to come in there. And if we do eventually break down and get rejected, that's when you guys are going to assume that we're going to break down below this trend line and come back down here towards 36,000 and a half. Buy up as much you want there, then we're probably going to have another rebound. But that's, of course, if we don't manage to break out. Go over here to the weekly chart as far as Bitcoin's concerned. Because we've managed to hold, it looks like we want to start to pump up towards $40,000 over the next few weeks. Let's kind of wait for the breakout to happen before we get that excited, of course. But right now, MACD is still showing strength week to week to week. Stochastic isn't showing any major weakness. We're still pretty good to go. Now, there was a lot of news involved with this to kind of keep us chugging. But again, even if we were looking more bearish here as far as the MACDs and things like that, it doesn't matter at this point because the dips keep on getting bought. So now we're seeing divergence. Yeah. But if we keep on going up against divergence, the divergence is still going to be there. It's just, we're going to keep on going up. So let me know what you guys think about that so far. So if you guys are looking at the way to go, I guess I flipped from a little bit more bearish on Thursday to more bullish now. Because on Thursday, we were looking at this whiplash right here. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens going forward. I gave you guys a day trade if you guys wanted it. It seems to have worked out, but with some help from news events and stuff like that. But we didn't have that breakdown below the 20-day moving average, and it seems like we've managed to bounce off of it quite nicely here. So until we manage to close down below this 20, be careful about the short swing trades, okay? I was hoping we might have had one of those so I could buy back down here on 35,000, 34 and a half. Did not come to fruition. Now, I'm going to skip the rest of the market stuff as far as the stock market. This is the daily chart for ADA. You're seeing a lot of stuff like this look like it needs to squeeze. I was hoping for a little bit more of a drop-off, to be frank, when it came to a lot of these altcoins. Let me be frank. A lot of them did come down like we were talking about, but there are a few that, like a larger market cap, where you wanted to see them come down so it could be a little bit safer as far as buying them, because they necessarily don't pop as much as other ones with that usually have a lower market cap. But look at ADA. Golden cross happening right now after this last golden cross. We're looking at a good spot. I would assume that we're going to start popping back off here back towards 45 cents. Not the largest pop, but a pretty decent one if you guys have some leverage behind it. Dogecoin still consolidating after the breakout, but it is still moving up with these higher lows. XRP, well, this trend line's old, isn't it? Still valid a little bit though. Let's go over here to the weekly chart. XRP is its own thing, but you can definitely see it needs a little bit more time to cook than other things. I'd be watching to see what happens if we come back down to the 20. I don't know why this is so underperforming the rest of the market. You might have hoped it would have had another big pop, but maybe just because of what we saw over here with the news and the lawsuits and stuff like that, it would get a little bit better. For now, if you guys are looking for a good play, just wait for that breakout. That'll give you an opportunity. You'll also see a pretty seismic move as we break above the 20-day moving average. Volatility occurs there, and it's usually pretty good times for most of you guys to make some money, okay? So just waiting patiently. A lot of you guys are actually going to see squeezes happen pretty soon, which will be pretty fun. But those squeezes are going to be between 20 and 50-day moving averages, which will give you guys a nice little opportunity to go long, especially as Bitcoin's looking more bullish after it's managed to hold on for these last few days. You see some stuff like Ape here. It's already kind of had their dips. It already came back into these support levels, managed to turn around. There are going to be things like that where I would say, well, you already missed it. Don't even bother to chase it. If you guys are chasing right now, you guys are holding in preparation for another larger move on a lot of these plays. Let me go over here. I haven't actually checked this in the last few days. I've been really busy with personal stuff, so I wasn't checking the markets all too much. So see this number right here? You can barely see it, but it's up $873. Before the market turned over a little bit and Bitcoin showed some weakness, it was up around $1,300. So altcoins are definitely giving us some losses compared to where we were before. I just want you guys to understand that, okay? Now, ApeCoin's up 50%, Big Time's up 19%, Blur is up 44%, BNX, which we bought Thursday, that's down 18%, so that means it's actually down 9% here, although we did buy it right before the dip, but it's a long-term thing here. But I think we were trying to buy it for a short-term move. Bitcoin up 40, comp up 14 or so. You got things like this gas. Wait, when did I buy gas? Probably towards the end. Yeah, 11, 12. That one's down 25%. You got big ones here like Lever. I think that one's probably towards the end of their thing too. Okay, so a lot of these actually bought right before the crash because it's still dollar cost averaging methodology for me. So I'm not really trying to buy it necessarily time it, but more just buy and hold for a while. But you can see there's still green in here, don't get me wrong, but there are some losers in here right now, which is why I'm watching. And even PolyX came down a little bit, down 20%, although that's only losing me 40 cents. I guess I took a very small position just to kind of keep track of it. But we're nowhere near as high as we were a few days ago. That's the big thing I wanted you guys to know. Oop, when did I go over here? Actually, let me drag this down. Everything else up here, I think I can actually get rid of. Oh, look at that. Probably saving a whole bunch of GPU space right here. But yeah. Look for those opportunities that haven't happened yet, same as before. AVEX, not my cup of tea. It's already pumped up a lot. I know there's a bunch of lines. It's just a Fibonacci thing. I would not be looking to trade this unless you guys are looking for something on the 4-hour chart. Death cross incoming here, bounce off the 50. You could try, but it looks like it wants to break down and come back down here towards $18. Then I might buy. Excess. Consolidation. These are the nice plays. These are more of like, hey, are you waiting for a breakout? Play with them as you want to. The ones I'm looking for primarily are going to be, well, here's Matic trying to break above the 20-day moving average. Let's see if I can find something. BNB. BNB's taking off since their lawsuit might be over. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is kind of doing what we wanted to, but in the most boring way possible. Is there anything actually laying up for a setup here? I mean, this one is. We haven't talked about Chile, I don't think, for a while here, but it's still holding that support level and trying to bounce off. But I mean, look at those wicks every single day. It's trying to break down, and yet it's still managing to hold. I don't see anything. Gala's up a little bit. GTC had a small breakout. Yeah, so right now I'd just be looking for breakouts and seeing what you can find there. I'm looking at a bunch of stuff and it looks like most is still consolidating. So until you find that breakout, you really have opportunities to kind of chill out and wait. You got some more high risk stuff like Luna. It looks like this is still a long way from breaking out, but you look at that support level here between the 20 and the 200. If I was going to buy Luna, I would just do the 200 daily moving average as my level of stop loss and just hold on for dear life, because this thing could really ricochet back up even higher. From 63 cents, it can go back to 80 cents in a day. Anything else here? Not really. ID token consolidating still. I didn't win the squeeze battle here. That's kind of what I was looking for. Arbitrum, breakout, but nothing, so the downtrend's over. Excellent, yeah. A lot of stuff's just hitting support levels. But if you guys can get those breakouts, and it's kind of weird because a lot of these altcoins have these wicks. I would ignore those really long ones, even though that's something I would never do, normally not do. And then trade some of these breakouts and see where they can go in the future. But you guys are going to have to deal with some heavier stop losses than you guys might like to. But since Bitcoin's looking more bullish here, I think people are going to be more willing to do that. Just waiting for Bitcoin to take that next big move here and have that breakout. Test out the highs again and see if it can go higher. For now, let me actually adjust this just a tad. This line's from, there we go. Looks like 37,980 is going to be our level of resistance right now. So 15-minute chart. Keeping an eye on Bitcoin, and there we go. All right. And hey, Waldo Studios. Hey, Mike, do our tax dollars go to support the SEC? Yes, they do. Unfortunately, they are a pretty big waste of money at this point. See, the thing is this. The SEC actually has an important function within our system. It's just being abused by actors, let's just call them actors, politicians, whatever, the powers that be, to go after cryptocurrency because they're afraid of it. And there's like two types of afraid there. One is they're afraid that it's gonna like disrupt their wealth. So like think of old school money type of players out there. They don't want their wealth kind of messed up with Bitcoin. Think of old establishment political types. Then you got the other types who are like, maybe Bitcoin's okay, maybe the blockchain is okay, but we're so scared because we keep on seeing people get scammed, and that kind of gives legitimacy to the whole thing of the SEC just going after crypto, gunslinging everywhere it can. It's not going to work out for the SEC in the long run, but yeah, it's a massive waste of money. It's a massive waste of money because they keep losing. It's like they know the law, they don't understand the law, or they're choosing just to ignore and open lawsuits just because, and then they go to court. Long, lengthy process. Financial court is not something that usually happens very quickly. And then all of a sudden, boom, they lose. And then the news covers it. Oh my gosh, the SEC is a bunch of losers. They can't win a case. They can't do this. They can't do this. And that makes it much more difficult for them going forward. And, you know, just imagine being Gary Gensler, just being known as being a loser. But again, if you guys watched the other video I put out a few days ago, Kathy Wood talked about how Gary Gensler, how she thought, she like wink wink through the grapevine type of talk. She was talking about how he wants the job of being the Treasury Secretary. So if Janet Yellen retires, which she'll probably do if Joe Biden wins re-election, what'll happen is he may get promoted with the backing of Elizabeth Warren. And the number one job of the Treasury Secretary is to be 100% pro-US dollar, screw everything else. So I think he's just saying, hey, pick me, please, please, please. You know, I may not win any cases, I may not do much good work, but I at least share your thought process, your value system of what you like and dislike about cryptocurrency. So he's going to do whatever he can. The one chance that you guys have, I guess, is if somebody else besides Joe Biden wins. This may be JFK, this could be Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Vivek, Haley, Joe Manchin, if he runs in that no labels party, that one lady who always runs in the Green Party. If any of those people win, you're not going to have Gary Gensler. You may have different varying degrees of like likeness in the system for cryptocurrency, which is why it's kind of all over the place. But you don't want to see Joe Biden in there. But like at this point, you know, we have the two-party system. If you're not for Joe Biden at this point, you're probably going to have to be for Trump. There's not really another choice there. Or for what's the guy's name? Kennedy guy. He's taking up a good chunk of the vote too. I was looking at polling data the other day and I was, oh my God, he actually has like 23% of the vote. And the news, I normally would listen to it on the news or hear like something about polling. No, I didn't hear anything about it. So these are mainstream polls, that are going up there, not like necessarily very liberal or very conservative, but people like the guy. So that could be another wrench in the system that may change things up. But I have not looked enough into his blockchain Bitcoin, not personality. What am I thinking? Policy. Here, let me do this for you very fast. Kennedy, Kennedy election. Oh my God, they really don't want me to find this guy. 2023. Dude, where's this guy's page? Okay, let me just go. Okay. RFK page. There you go. Jesus. Okay. Oh, I love those dogs. Bitty kit. Order civil liberties, racial healing, Native Americans, realization. I don't see anything about cryptocurrencies here. Maybe they will have one, but I'm not entirely sure. So let me go back over to here. RFK policy. There you go. So vowed to protect the right to hold Bitcoin in self-custody and decried regulatory attacks on the asset in an interview with the Street's crypto Natalie Brunel. So it looks like he's probably pro-crypto at this point. I don't know if pro-crypto means pro-crypto exchanges. We'll have to wait and see. But it seems like he's a little bit more open to it, or just frankly more open to it than Joe Biden or Gary Gensler at this point. I really don't think Joe Biden actually follows cryptocurrency policy at all. I think he's pretty much just like delegated the responsibility to Elizabeth Warren and says, hey, go do what you think is best. When I call on you to rally progressives in my name, you can pay me back. I think that's kind of the deal they struck. Having power, that type of power can be, very useful for a senator. And hey, Larry, if the FOMO's kicking in, I mean, it really is at this point. We've had 2 attempts to crash the market back down a little bit, coming back down to support levels. Both have been bought back up here. And the crazy thing was you can actually see the crossover happening as the dip was occurring. So you saw the good news happen, then you had the good news continue off here, and overall the trend has been going higher. But my oh my, some of these dumps have just been really quick and nasty because they're trying to shake people up. And now we learned the lesson from last time. Remember, last week they shook everybody up, and we saw Bitcoin climb right back again. They're probably going to try to do multiple shakeouts on us. Let's hope that people can hold, or at least you can hold. Just make sure to have a stop loss in there. Maybe give it some extra wiggle room. But it wouldn't be their first time trying to shake us out of this nasty. I mean, it's not the prettiest uptrend, but it's working at this point, right? It's definitely working. Matic looks like a head and shoulders on the hour chart. Let me go check it out. Oh yeah, it does look a little bit like a head and shoulders over here. Luckily the head isn't too nasty. I mean, it's a little bit too nasty here, so maybe that'll help us out a little bit. You can definitely see where that downtrend kind of kicked off then. We've been breaking down ever since. Hopefully if we go back over here to the 4-hour chart, we're really just looking at the beginning of a higher low situation, and maybe that'll keep us going up again. I think for Matic and different plays out there, honestly, it's just kind of a bid for time. The sooner Bitcoin breaks out, the better. You can kind of see these trend lines like that. If we can just break out there, which is definitely feasible, then a lot of the concerns about that breakdown will like, okay, now I can start buying back into Matic, because Matic was a little bit of a late bloomer to the party over the last little altcoin boom we had a couple weeks ago. Back to the daily chart, also looking to break out above the 20. And also looking at a golden cross here between the 50 and the 200. We haven't had that since all the way back over here in October of 2022. Wow, it's been a minute since we've seen that happen. And that definitely led to a prolonged period of growth. Not the most stable growth, granted, but growth nonetheless. Yeah, but we are looking at another golden cross here, so hopefully that can boost us back up. I know there's been a lot of talk of a reverse market crash happening, and I don't completely understand how that's going to happen, but I'll try to do some research so I can actually talk to you guys about it in the future, because I've been seeing it pop up all over my feed. I'm not entirely sure why they're bringing it up so much, but I'm going to see if it's just like a fad that's being pushed on YouTube, or if there's something that can actually happen over the next month or two which actually causes such a thing. And AGT definitely funded by tax dollars. The SEC's budget is made up from a combination of appropriations from Congress and user fees. That's why they want to go after Binance and get that $4 billion so they can sue more people. That's where I said Binance should not pay them the money. They should keep on suing them because the SEC doesn't have unlimited funds. And remember this, the government just passed that continuation bill with spending. We're not cutting spending, which really sucks because we really do need to start cutting spending. I thought the new guy, Johnson, was going to do it, but maybe he didn't have enough time because of all the chaos that happened before he got there. Well, to the position, I would say. But they should work it in that the SEC has less money. I mean, that'd be an appropriate way to go after them after doing... If they weren't wasting money, I think it'd be a lot easier, but they're wasting money. You know, it's just the fact that they are wasting money, which I think ticks so many people off. If they had legitimate cases that they can go after instead, makes a lot more sense, but they really aren't going after those cases. They're really focusing on cryptocurrency, again, because of the personal ambition of Gary Gensler wanting to become the Treasury Secretary. And it sucks, but there's nothing we can really do at this point. You guys would have to go vote against Joe Biden, but then you have the choice. Do I want to vote for Trump? Do I want to vote for Kennedy? Do I want to vote for DeSantis? Maybe you guys say, I hate all those people more than I hate Joe Biden. Maybe I'll keep voting for Joe Biden at the risk of having another 4 years of Gary Gensler in power. Everybody has their own little morality thing here, and some of you guys may like it, some of you guys may not like the choices, whatever. There's nothing you can do about it right now, though. So the more he's going to do it, the more he's going to waste money up until he's either gone from the position or there's a regulation passed by Congress that says, hey, you cannot do this over and over again. I would take the cheaper and more easier approach. So hey, I'm taking away part of your funding because you're not acting in good faith and you're not representing the American government in good faith. So, but again, I'm a totally different guy. I tend to be practical, not like politicians. And then I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. I'm hanging out with Loki most of today. I got new soles for my shoes, except for they're the wrong soles for my shoes. So they're very nice insoles for my shoes, but I got the anime ones instead of the grunge ones that I wanted. So I don't know if I should keep them because they took 2 weeks to get here, or if I should just wear them because nobody's going to see them because they're on my feet. And I like anime, but these ones are kind of crazy anime ones. JFK and Vivek both spoke at the last Bitcoin show in May. Oh, I did not know that, GT. There you go. So those are some more proponents for pro-Bitcoin type of politicians that you guys may like. I was just hoping to see something on JFK's page talking about cryptocurrencies, but maybe if I dive in there a little bit more, I'll be able to see it. But he needs to poke at it, or he needs to show it off a little bit and more on his page. See, I know it's just yeah. I'm pretty optimistic on all of crypto going forward. I really am. It's just we can't pretend there's not going to be hurdles in here. And even with Gary Gensler being a Grinch, so to speak, we all know that he's acting in bad faith. Even the news media is talking about it, why is he doing this? It doesn't make any sense. The fact that they're just acknowledging that what he's doing does not seem normal and doesn't make sense, I think that's a good thing moving forward because it at least establishes the case, I would say, that he's just really not a good faith actor. Now, they won't come out and say it, but because there's a whole social media ecosystem built around cryptocurrency that was there before CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg, before any of them picked it up, this really controls the overall narrative from the cryptocurrency community. And then, we have influence from CNBC and stuff like that, but people don't really care. I'm if you guys were watching anything when it came to this Sam Altman story with OpenAI over the last few days, It wasn't breaking on CNBC. It wasn't breaking on Fox Business or CNN or MSNBC. No, it was breaking on Twitter or X. It was breaking there. And that's where you want to be if you want to find news. Why do you think all the news organizations, despite how much they trash X and they trash Elon Musk, why do you think they're all still on the platform? It's so they can find news and then break the news on their channels or their platforms only after it's been broken on X. It's just the way it is. You go on CNBC these days, they're like, let's see if I can pull my phone out. We just have a new tweet in from Sam Altman. Thank you guys so much. I love the OpenAI community. You know, I follow Sam. I have his alerts on, so if he tweets, I know about it. But they're acting like, you know, they were the ones breaking the story or something. When no, you know, it's been posted on X. That's the story. You guys are just taking it and trying to spin a narrative around it. And that's why, like, X, there's not as many narratives. It can be fucking chaos, don't get me wrong, but the narratives, you don't get the corporate narratives on Twitter. They really get crushed out fast. What exactly is a reverse market crash? Okay, so there's a few videos I would tell you to watch because I'm not an expert. It just seems to be the craziest thing. Actually, let me go over here to ChatGPT, and I will actually just have them search for it. I don't know why I did this. ChatGPT. You can watch Bitcoin for a second, and I'll search for it. Okay, I actually have credits to use on ChatGPT 4. I've been using it so much that it says, hey, wait a little bit before hopping back on. Okay, I pretty much asked it, can you explain the reverse market crash theory like I'm a child? And it's giving it to me, but it's just taking a second because it's like really slow, but I can just start reading it here. Can I zoom in here? All right. So imagine you have a toy store in your neighborhood that sells all kinds of toys. Usually the toys have a fixed price, but sometimes the store decides to have a big sale and reduce the prices. Now imagine lots of people hear about this sale and rush into the store to buy toys. Because so many people want to buy the toys, the store owner thinks, maybe I can increase the price a little since everyone wants to buy them, so the owner raises prices a bit. In a regular market crash, prices of things like stocks go down really fast because people are scared and want to sell everything they have. They think the prices will keep going down, so they try to sell quickly, which makes the prices fall down even more. But in a reverse market crash, it's like a toy store sale. Instead of the price going down, they start going up. This happens because people think the prices will keep getting higher and higher, so they rush to buy more, just like when the toy store had a sale. This demand makes the prices go up even more, just like the toy store owner raising prices because everyone wants to buy. So a reverse market crash is when prices go up really quickly because people are eager to buy, thinking the prices will keep on rising, just like how kids get excited and buy more toys when they think the toys are going to get more popular and might get more expensive. Now add inflation to... So the story, what I've been hearing has something to do with inflation as well. So let me see. Now let's add inflation into our story about the toy store and the reverse market crash. Imagine that over time, everything in your neighborhood becomes more expensive. This is called inflation. The cost of making toys, the rent for the toy store, even the ice cream at your favorite ice cream shop costs more than it used to. This means your parents need to spend more money for the same things. Inflation affects everyone. Now let's go back to our toy store. Because of our inflation, the cost of toys from the store owner has gone up, so the market owner has to raise the prices of the toys in the store. This means that even without a sale, the toys are more expensive than they used to be. Now, that's kind of what I was thinking, more of a reverse market crash. So there's like two different theories here, I guess. But I think we should be focused on the inflation one here. So the owner has to raise prices of the toys in the store. This means that even without a sale, the toys are more expensive than they used to be. Now, remember our reverse market crash? It's when people rush to buy things like socks or toys because they think the prices will keep going up. In our toy store, if there is a reverse market crash, it means people start buying lots of toys quickly because they're worried that prices will keep going up due to inflation. So the store owner sees that everyone is buying toys quickly and thinks I should raise the prices even more. Now not only has inflation made toys more expensive, but the reverse market crash with everyone buying toys quickly makes the prices go up even faster. In real life, when we mix a reverse crash with inflation, it can make things a bit crazy. Prices of things like houses, stocks, and even everyday items can start going up very fast. People might rush to buy these things before they become too expensive, which only drives the prices up even higher. It's like a cycle. Inflation leads to higher prices, and then the reverse market crash makes people buy more quickly, which leads to even higher prices. That's the disaster that could happen. Do things ever crash back down? I don't know. Okay, we don't need to go into the crash down part, but you know, you would assume it would happen afterwards. But again, if we are having one of those, that technically means that Bitcoin is going up. The stock market continues to go up, and that's why we see stuff, like AMD. What's not AMD? Nvidia just reaching an all-time high here today. So, you know, I mean, at least AI is kind of helping this one out. You kind of have a little bit more of a theory of why it could happen. But, you know, we should not forget that, you know, within a year, this thing fell down like 70%. Just like that. You can't ever tell, really, because all these little splits in here that you guys can barely see. Oh, something happened. Oh, there you go. So, you know, split over here, split over here, split over here, split over here. They've been split a lot, which is why they have such high market caps. But that's kind of the gist of it. I'll try to find more research on it as I can, but I think that gives you just a little bit of the information, maybe, you know, for you to kind of go and maybe look it up on ChatGPT yourself, or try to find an article or watch a YouTube video. Because if you go out there right now and you try to search for a reverse market crash, I feel like you're going to see a lot, but I don't think many are going to be as clear and cut as like ChatGPT explaining it to you like you're a 5-year-old or elementary kid. But I like having things explained like that to me, just because I can be kind of dense sometimes, and I think it goes a long way to keeping things working out. You know, a long way to you having a better understanding. So when you have a conversation with somebody, you can at least try to follow what they're saying, or if you see something on the news, you can kind of follow what they're saying. Because I haven't seen the news talk about it just yet, but gosh darn, you know, it's just kind of getting crazy, because again, once rates start coming down, everybody's supposed to start swimming in to buy again, right? And that means that everybody will be buying houses again, which means prices of housing will go up as more demand is there. You know, it's a wild thing, you know. You can see how it makes sense very easily, but at the same time, it's like, damn, does that mean houses are going to get more expensive over the next 2-3 years? Yeah, probably. So, and the Fed's going to have to lower rates. People are telling the Fed to lower rates next year. And so if they go along with that, you know, people are going to be trying to buy cars, you know, because all the fees are going to come down. They're afraid that they may go back up. So as soon as the rates get lower, they're going to hop on in. And I think you've actually seen this with the housing market. If rates come down just a little bit, a lot more applications try to get through, then maybe some can get approved, and then boom, people are battling over houses. But not battling as much as they would be if rates came down like, you know, 3-4 basis points. Let's just say we came down to 3 basis points, or even just 4. That would get houses moving again real fast. And the stock market pumping up really crazy. And I think that's why, despite having all the bad earnings over the last 2 quarters, not 1 quarter, 2 quarters, we've seen people buying up all of those dips and like, it's okay, they're lowering rates next year. It's okay, which is an investment for the long term. Even if it goes down more, we'll just buy more. I think that's kind of what's happening right now. Python new project of the Solana blockchain, which is very interesting. Oh, there you go. See, new stuff is happening even in the, well, whatever you want to call this market right now. And hey, Bufflink, what's my favorite token? I mean, right now, my favorite token happens to be Matic, just because of the way it's been trading. But as far as long term, I mean, I kind of hold a lot of stuff, and I've never been really big on having real big favorites. I guess right now, in my YOLO play, where I'm I put a lot of money into it, waiting to see if it pops off pretty well, is going to be STMX. We'll see how it goes, but that's just a token that... Imagine a company that gives you cash back for buying through them, through another company. So like you use an app, you buy through the app, and you're buying Nike products. You're going through the Nike product. Excuse me, Nike website. Basically, Nike gives a kickback to that app, that company. That company gives a kickback to you for buying through them. And instead of getting a cash kickback, you're getting token kickback from the tokens. So it's a business, and I'm hoping that over time it really survives with all this regulation that's probably going to be incoming over the next year or two. At this point, I don't know if we're going to have regulations before 2025, but oh my gosh, it's just going to be chaotic. Because, you know, if you guys aren't from America, you know, the year of an election, our political system pretty much just shuts down so everybody can go out and campaign, you know, elect me, elect me, elect me. I don't know what's going to happen. And honestly, I think before the next election, we're going to have a short to medium length shutdown, because I don't think the Speaker of the House, which is named Johnson, I don't think he's going to be able to not do one if he wants to keep his job. I think he's going to have to say, hey, we need to cut spending. And there's lots of places where you can cut spending. There's a lot of wasteful spending in this country. But for every dollar wasted, it went into somebody else's pocket. And usually they reciprocate that by putting that money back into the politician's pocket by donating to their campaigns. So it's very hard to get a politician to say, hey, I don't want to not have money in my pockets. Like, I want that money to keep on flowing in there. It goes against their very nature. So, you know, I would assume if the far right, I don't even know what you want to call them, Freedom Caucus people, the ones that don't want to increase spending year after year, if they can control him with their majority, say, hey, we need to stand strong, then yeah, I think there's a good chance for that. But remember, one of the jobs of the speaker is to raise money from all types of people across the country and give that money to candidates that need it. Like, I'm forgetting names today. It must be because it's a Monday. McCarthy. Apparently, he was very good at raising money. That money, in large part, comes from people who want certain things done. So, you know, no matter which side you're on, you know, not many people try to stick with their value system on this, which is why you see rare bipartisanship, where you see people on the far left and the far right calling for term limits, but the people in the middle like, nah, we don't need no term limits. It's things like that. But there's no way to get around it. So I don't know. That's why I'm assuming that maybe they can try to rein him in, because like, hey, we already did it with McCarthy. Don't think we're not willing to kick you out of office too. Now, we'll see if that's the case, but I would expect to have a shutdown. I just don't know if he's going to go follow through with it, or if he's just going to throw his hands up and say, I quit, elect somebody else. Then we have chaos all over again. Everybody has their limits. Everybody has their moral compass and what they think is best. How do I feel about XLM? I don't know. We just talked about it for a second here. Let's go to the daily chart. Oh yeah, this is one of those squeezes we were talking about. Yeah, it did break out a little bit here. I know this wick is a little bit annoying, but managed to escape the uptrend, excuse me, that downtrend. Already had the golden cross way over here. Geez, this one looks so much different than everything else because it popped so early. Yeah, this thing popped in July when everything else was not doing so hot. And July is when everything turned over. Why didn't you... Alright. You're at a buying level right now. That's good to see. If we've been making higher lows every week, but man, those higher lows have not been the best thing here. Now, you have had that breakout. What I would say is you could probably take an initial position in here. And then what you're looking for is probably tomorrow, especially if Bitcoin can manage to break out soon. You're looking for a breakout back above that 20-day moving average, and that's why I'd probably double down as we try to go back up towards 13 cents. At this point, though, your stop loss is going to be pretty darn long. So you're looking at a stop loss of about like 4 or 5%, 4.5%. And you're probably looking for returns of about 10% perhaps. Yeah, 10%, 9.5 almost. So I guess you could say the ratio is kind of there. I'd like to be like, you know, a 1 to 3, but fours. Close to death cross here, but also close to a gold cross, 2 hour. Still. Yeah, I would say this is more of an accumulation zone if you're looking to buy into it. I wouldn't try to go heavy with this on leverage, though, just because this thing is so overbought compared to everything else, just because this nasty move. What a great move it had in July. I shouldn't say nasty, but just, you know, you can see how it's like not organic. Go to anything else, like an Ethereum Classic. See how it's already kind of come back up here. There's been that nice growth. Maybe it just has to catch up with that. I would say more of an accumulation, let it ride. You're kind of hoping that Bitcoin could just break out and that takes it back up to 13 cents. Like a 10% profit. Accumulation with low leverage, if you ask me. It's not the best play I've seen out there, but it seems like it'll do fine as long as Bitcoin can keep itself chugging, or at least holding. Hey, Buff, did I buy any coins? No, I haven't bought any coins for it now. Not a single one. Not because there's not good things out there, don't get me wrong. It's more that I've just been too busy this weekend to do anything. I do family stuff on Friday. Saturday, I had more cleaning people over here. Sunday, I went to the beach and slept all day. And then today is today. And I stayed up late last night, or even Saturday, and I forget, watching the Argentinian election results come in. Because I was excited about that one. I was just like, oh, cool. This actually looks pretty interesting. Just because I saw the media go crazy about him, and every now and again, you're like, I hope the underdog could win. NAB Supreme. Pelosi was a great fundraiser too. That's why she held a position so long. Oh yeah, if you're one of those people at the top, you can raise money and you are very good in position. Notice, both McCarthy and Pelosi, they're both from California. It's not like McCarthy was from some Midwest town, you know, like in the Rust Belt or something, or, you know, rural farmland. No. He's from Cali. And so maybe he's not in like straight city metropolitan California, but California, you know where to go to get all the money. There's lots of retreats on California. I've been to a couple myself. Lots of retreats out here in Washington, where you got Republicans that come out there all the time. But it's not like a Republican rural farmland. I mean, it kind of is, but it's like it's been transformed with all the amenities that you get the downtown rich elite, you know, city lifestyle. So yeah, I mean, they're very good at what they do, and they hold power. Remember, when it came to Nancy Pelosi, she got a lot of flack from her far left. Remember Ocasio-Cortez? Remember how she swept in there with a whole bunch of progressives and said, "We want change. We want change." Nancy Pelosi slapped those girls and turned them into moderates. You know, they still caused a little bit of problems here or there, but, you know, they really didn't get the power they thought they were going to because they didn't know how to leverage it. Nancy Pelosi, as much as people hate her or dislike her, she was very smart at playing the game. McCarthy was not good at playing the game, apparently. And now we got Mike Johnson. We'll see if he can play the game properly. But people have to fear and respect you. They can't just fear you, because I think they just feared McCarthy, and then eventually somebody stood up to him and says, well, somebody stuck their finger to McCarthy, basically, and then McCarthy said, hey, you know, like, who is it? Matt Gaetz said, hey, I'm going to go oust him from office. And then McCarthy said, bring it. And all of a sudden, he was outside office, and like, take a couple blinks and you missed it. So the reason I talk about it, though, is not to like make fun of Democrats or Republicans, although I think you guys should be able to make fun of both of them. I would just say that I don't see much progress being made as far as Bitcoin or cryptocurrency regulation anytime soon, unless they really get some money behind the legislation. And the last time they tried to do that was with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. So everybody's going to be watching that money a little bit closely now, a little bit closer. And again, it's not just the Wall Street Journal or CNN or MSNBC or Fox News that is going to be watching this stuff. Everyday journalists on X, you know, Twitter, they're going to be watching closely as well, which makes it so great because a lot of times those upper news organizations, they don't do a really good job. So if like, you know, if MSNBC saw something bad was going on with Sam Bankman-Fried and Nancy Pelosi, let's just say, they would not be as likely to share it because it's not democratic. Fox News may share it, but because Fox News is sharing it, the people on the left wouldn't believe them, so nobody would care, and vice versa, you know? So usually if it sprouts up on Twitter, everybody can latch onto it and spin their own narrative about it, but at least everybody's talking about it. You don't really get that when news breaks on ABC News or NBC News, stuff like that. They don't do a good job of that. And a second McChain, hey, I appreciate that quite a bit. I need to do more videos when it comes to teaching and tutorial videos. I just haven't had the time over the last few days. One of my friends owns a channel called Moleham Trading. I want to pronounce that. He has a lot of ICT, smart money concepts content. A lot of it. Let me see if I can find his channel for you. We talk every now and again. So all he does is like ICT, smart money, fair value gap, stuff like that. A lot of stuff here. I actually helped him with some of his thumbnails here because I use a lot of AI technology in my thumbnails to have fun. But yeah, give his channel a look. He does a lot of them. He doesn't go necessarily as in depth as I do because I have ADHD, so I need things to be spoon-fed to me, and I believe that most people do, or they like a lot of people do, and there's not much of it on YouTube because YouTube doesn't really promote content that is very niche based like that, like where I'm talking about every specific little thing. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. But because I don't really make much money off of YouTube and I make most of my money through trading, I can actually like waste time, technically like waste monetary time doing it. But yeah, check out Moleham's channel. He has a lot of great content out there. Let him know that you came over from Michael Whitman's channel, and I'll see if he messages me saying, hey, thanks man for the shout out or something. But I do need to do more of those here. It's just that, you know, not every strategy that you see online works. So I try to look for ones that I can make better. But if you go to a channel and you go, let's see, here. Let's go to YouTube on incognito mode so it shows us what a random person would see. So this has none of my SEO, none of my recommendations, and this is like when somebody first goes on YouTube for the first time, this is all the crazy shit that you're gonna see. A whole bunch of random colors, blobby freaking babies. I don't know what. All right, now let's go over here and type in smart money concepts, Lux Algo. So this is my video, okay? Now you see Tom Crown's video is right there 10 days ago. He's boosting it, I think, right now. You got my video right here. You got a sponsored ad. You got Lux Algo. Let me go over here very fast. Oh, if you refresh the page, mine comes back there. Oh, it's testing out Tom's video to see how it does. That's kind of nice to see. Let's go back over here very fast. So let's watch Tom's video for just 1 second. Okay. Now, if I go back to the main page, it should show me a bunch more trading stuff. Yeah. Full smart money trading plan. Not much. Oh, I didn't really spend much time on his video, did I? But it knew. So let me go over here to smart trading plan. I want to say like 80% of the videos in this guy's channel, they're not actually profitable. Not at all. But the ones where it's like a tutorial, that's kind of where I think channels have the best opportunity to like really teach. And I do trading strategies every now and again, but a trading strategy that I like is probably not going to work for a lot of people because I know much more of the surrounding stuff around trading. So, you know, it makes it easier in my head, but I may be forgetting like 20 steps to tell you that I'm just thinking are natural to me. And you know, that's where the problem goes, because like most of this stuff is like just crap, but it gets lots of views because the way it's designed, it's flashy and it's really cool and it's interesting to watch. It doesn't necessarily work, but it's flashy. And you know, that's why creators like Moleham or me that have like these lower view videos, they're not going to be doing as good because they're not flashy. And YouTube wants average view duration. It means how long you guys are actually watching the content. That's where they get pumped up. So if I have a half an hour video and you guys watch 10 minutes of it, YouTube will most likely push it out. But if I have a 5-minute very detailed video over one short thing and people are only watching a minute of it, or all of it, 5 minutes, whatever, it's not going to get pushed out because it's not being watched long enough for YouTube to be like, hey, show it to everybody. It's going to be such a great video. YouTube wants you to keep watching YouTube so it can make more money by getting you to watch ads. My videos are not, not at that level, I would say, of being addictive. But you see a lot of people out there, they have some really addictive views. If we go back over here to that smart money concept. I didn't spell money concepts right, but look at this guy, the Trading Geek. His videos are all over the place. The only thing about him that irks me from what I've heard is the Trading Geek steals a bunch of people's videos. He'll like basically copy and paste them with him in them with different editing styles. But like you can go to one person's video, you'll see the entire first half of the video is a certain script. He'll basically just copy that script and then he'll say it and then he'll post a video on it. So you're not actually following his strategies, you're following somebody else's strategies and he's improving on their strategy. Kind of, not really, kind of. And then posting it. And he's getting a lot of views and a lot of money because of it. So there's a whole weird ecosystem in here when it comes to trading content. But I do need to make some more content going forward. I've been kind of getting laxed over this past month due to personal stuff. And that could be, I have not moved yet. I can't move until at least next summer, at the end of next summer, because my sister is in college and I'm watching her freaking cat. The places I'm thinking of moving so far are going to be a Caribbean island. For like, I'm going to probably stay there for 4 months, then 4 months here, then 4 months there, then 4 months around. Or I'll go to somewhere like Ecuador, Nicaragua, or Panama. And then, I guess at the last here, maybe, I'm kind of, I don't know how it's going to get dogs over there. Bali, somewhere in Thailand or something like that. I was just talking with, who was it this morning? I don't know if any of you guys have tried to start a YouTube channel. There's a guy named, I fucking hate spelling his name. I have trouble with my M's. Nick Nimmin? This guy, I was on a video call with him earlier today. Really awesome guy. Very, very nice. He lives out in Asia. And I was asking him, well, you know, what is it like out there? And he was basically telling me a whole bunch of tax stuff because this guy knows everything about moving. But basically, you know, it made me rethink if I should really move to Asia because I have my dog. That's really the big thing here with Loki. But yeah, I'll figure it out down the road. Probably right now, I'm leaning towards Ecuador or Nicaragua. I really just need to go down there and do it like a vacation down there, but also just look to see exactly which neighborhoods I would really like to live in and then go forward from there. So I'm probably a while out from moving. I thought I'd be able to move probably now. But yeah, definitely way behind schedule there. So I'm probably not moving until at least next year, if not early 2025. Going down there because I have to get my dog down there. I have to find a way to get him down there without flying, which means I'm probably gonna have to charter some yacht for like 2-3 weeks to go take us down there, which is fine by me. I don't mind the yacht life, but it's gonna cost a pretty penny. Maybe I can stream from a yacht. That'd be fun. Do I think Solana will keep coming down? What do you think the next support level might be? Where is Solana? If I can't find it. Oh, there it is. It looks like it wants to keep coming down, doesn't it? This is just a 15-minute chart, though. Alright, right now it looks like it wants to try to make some higher lows here. I wouldn't expect it to fall back down below 51.22, but it does give you a little bit more wiggle room. It's hitting an order block right now. Yeah, because what you're seeing is that initial breakdown, right? So that's what you're seeing. Two ways to play this. The safe way is to wait for the breakout. The other way would be to actually buy some right now and then double down if it comes back down to 52 bucks or so, and then ride it out to see what happens over the next few hours, because as we go into Thursday, it looks like that'll be the opportune time to see this breakout. You're seeing the stochastic in that oversold territory. Let me shrink this down very fast. Let's back up. You're seeing the MACD on the 4-hour more bearish or more downward move incoming. Daily chart though, that crossover is now just starting. Again, we keep on seeing these bearish moves, but we manage to hold, and then we have a pretty big reversal, and then things look all fine all of a sudden. It's just because the thing pumped up so much relative to so much other stuff that people are maybe a little bit more pessimistic about it. I would say look to see what happens over the next 24 to 36 hours as we kind of approach Wednesday, Thursday. No, excuse me, 24 to 48 hours, I guess. Maybe 50 something hours, whatever it may, 60 something hours. And just keep an eye on this 20-day moving average here. If it bounces off of that, I think you'd be in a good spot. So if I'm not actually looking at anything on the 4-hour chart, I would say, okay, well, probably tomorrow it'll probably come back down to $52, $53. That's where I'd most likely want to strike and then play the bounce off of the 20-day moving average. But of course, the hiccup here is, even though it's breaking down, Bitcoin is entering this level of resistance. So this one is kind of almost like, in this scenario, if Bitcoin does well, Solana will do okay. But if Bitcoin does bad, Solana will be catastrophic. So you can still trade it, you can still have fun with it, but just make sure to have that stop loss. Probably just kind of around $51, $50. Let me go back down here and see what that support level was from that, like that high or low situation. Okay. $51. Stop loss $51. See where it goes. You could have it be this old Fibonacci level if you want to, a little bit more, around $49.84. For me, I would say anywhere between $51 and $50 is going to be plenty enough for a stop loss, and if it hits, it hits. And then again, the safest play, which is more of a swing tradey play, is to wait for the breakout and see where it goes. The swing tradiness of it really depends on how long you want to hold it. The consolidation at this point hasn't been for so long, so don't really expect a massive breakout. But just because it's not massive doesn't mean there's like not profit there. So like, let's say we break out from 56 bucks and we come back up here towards 64. That's still a profit of around 16% with the 5x leverage. That's a lot. But I think I'm not expecting this type of move to happen unless it wants to go back into that, parabolic mode, which it can. I normally don't try to assume we're going to have those types of moves off of every breakout. So again, that's why I'm saying I'd personally wait a little bit, wait for the breakout, hook and see what happens. Because by the time we see that breakout, I'll have a better understanding of what's happening with Bitcoin, especially since that reversal level. If you want to get a preemptive strike in there to get a better opportunity for buying at a higher risk, which is still fine, lots of people do it, you're going to be aiming to buy around that $52 level, $53 level, somewhere in there. That's the way I'd personally be looking to play it if I had more aggressiveness in me. Just like what I said last Thursday with Bitcoin, and that one actually worked out pretty nicely. But some of you guys may still be holding that one, but right around here. Wait for a chance for breakout. You could even double down right there if you wanted to. For me though, I would probably take an initial small position right here just to kind of see what's going on. Stop loss is still going to be at 50, so it's going to be a little bit rough if you want to take that initial dip. Otherwise, you can play around with it. But you see that death cross and kind of golden cross mix happening right here. Go over here to the weekly chart. Let's just get rid of all this crapola. Flipping over just a little bit. Stochastic turning over. MACD still positive, but flattening out, I guess you could say as of now. Probably will continue to come down, especially if we go back down to $51 or so. But yeah, at this point, weekly doesn't look as hot. Daily looks like it's going to come down to the 20, and I think that's where things are going to flip around a little bit more. You can see the bearishness over here. Now, how far does that take us down? Who knows? Because can I show this to you in a easier light? Let's go to stochastic. We're kind of like way higher than normal. Oh shit. Way high. There you go. And we've had some false crossovers in the past and things like that. And of course the golden, false crossover right there, then another crossover. False crossover right here. Not really the best one because of how much this can move in a short amount of time. Even if you go over here to maybe the 2-hour chart, I bet you see some funky stuff around here. Let's see. Oh, the 2 hour is actually not that bad. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. This one's the better one. A little bit of nonsense right here. That's a lot of volatility, wasn't there? Maybe you just want to wait for the 2-hour MACD to cross over just a little bit better, or at least stabilize. Maybe that 2-hour along with that order block kind of around 52 might be a good place to go. I might wait for the 2-hour to actually have that confirmed crossover. Maybe by then it'll still be consolidating sideways into this level. It's kind of like what you saw right here before the crossover. That might be an easier one. 4-hour still seems bearish though, so it seems like it still has somewhere to go. And overall, you're seeing some divergence happening here with these higher highs and these lower highs right here. I think you still have some more bearish moves in the future for this, but I don't necessarily think it's going to end up being a disaster coming back down, unless, of course, Bitcoin gets rejected here, in which we go back to that catastrophic type of thing, just because it's been bombed so much. Auto. There we go. Okay. NA buff. AOC was paid off by donors. Now she loves the money too. That's why she changed her tune 4 years later. I don't follow her. Not saying you're wrong, but yeah, I am naturally drawn towards politicians who are very loud and claim they will do something. And I necessarily don't necessarily vote for them all the time, but I kind of keep track of what they've done and what like they all reach a crisis moment where they have to stand by their principles, and most do not. So I don't have a good viewpoint of politicians in general, and this goes from across the world, right? Maybe I took too much poli-sci in college, but yeah, it's definitely not something like I don't really look up to politicians. The things you have to do to become president are usually not good, and maybe like a Trump, you can bulldoze your way in, but not many people have the ability to like just give a big old middle finger to the establishment. There's too much money there. And a second McChange, yeah, no worries, man. If I find another channel that I like, I will not hesitate to let you guys know. I know that you guys will watch me and other people out there. I don't mind if I lose a few views because you guys are going to watch another channel. In fact, I encourage it so you guys get an idea of what else is out there, and you guys can make some informed decisions. You know, next year I might even do speaking gigs at conferences and stuff. I don't know if I really want to. My anxiety tells me not to do so, but my ambition to become an influencer says yes, go do it so you can make more contacts, meet more people, maybe have those people on a podcast type of event on your show, or you can be on their show to kind of spread the word of buy and hold and dollar cost average and the good old slow growth model. But I'll have to figure that next year because I know I'm going to Bitcoin Miami and I'm about Bitcoin Nashville. It's not even Miami anymore, so I'll have to see how that goes. I'm gonna keep making this joke. You can't have a yacht party in Nashville. I don't think you can. At least they'll find a way. Move to Ukraine, dude. Ukrainians do not like black people. I don't think people understand the slide. It's Ukrainians do not like black people. Eastern Europeans, a lot of them do not like black people. I have a lot of friends that have gone over there before. It has not been good experiences from them, so I just like avoid that place. And like I'm willing to go to a high crime area like Nicaragua before I go to Eastern Europe. And I've actually heard certain parts of Eastern Europe are pretty fun, but like not the parts that apparently my friends have gone to. Torn has got a nice move on the 4-hour. Had it on this flag. It breaks this next resistance. I'm projecting 4.6. Well, there you go, Stack McChange. Bitcoin's in a spot where you can trade momentum pretty easily in altcoins. That's what I like about it right now, especially because, you know, sideways action with higher highs every so often. That's what you're looking for. Even higher lows here, even though they've been pretty pretty tense, I would say, still gives you a good opportunity. It's like, what do you call, especially something that's that overbought? Yeah, I could definitely understand why you have that reminiscent of the old days when everything was popping off like crazy. And hey, Ken, what indicators do you use for stocks you aren't too familiar with? For me, it happens to be a lot more of momentum stocks. So if I'm not familiar with it, it's going to be things more of the realm of your typical MACD stochastics. Then you might go for an average true range, which is, you know, just, it's like basically just a line on a chart, a line rolling like nothing else, just a line. And the line is showing you the trend, basically how strong the trend is. If you're day trading, it's always kind of nice to have a VWAP on there. I don't use VWAP when it comes to cryptocurrencies, but I use it when it comes to day trading stocks and things like the SPY. Sometimes it's nice just to have a smart money concepts on there. This could be a Lux Algo or anybody else's out there. Oh, Lux Algo is having a Black Friday sale. So is TradingView. So if you guys want to get a discount yearly plan and you guys have liked what you had so far, sign up for it. It'll be a 13-month one when it comes to TradingView. On the 12th month, open up a new TradingView account, buy another Black Friday sale, and let the one that has 13 months go for that last month and then cancel that plan. And then go back to another cheap year of $200 TradingView for the year. So just to let you guys know. I'll talk about that here probably in a second. Oh, I don't want to shill it. I made a video about it already. Like, go watch my video earlier today talking about TradingView and how you can get that really big discount. I don't feel like I need to talk about it too much. But yeah, it's usually just oscillators and momentum. Like, the cheatiest way I would say is this. Go over here, go to a load layout. GAN. Let's go over here. Let's find a random stock from Finviz today. Bristol Myers Squibb. Let me click on you. Okay, this one right here, okay? I don't know much about it. I don't really trade healthcare too much. It's usually not something I like in a booming market. It's profitable. That's all I really wanted to see there. Okay, so this is a BYM. A BMY, excuse me. Okay, let's go over to... Oh, shit, this is in a bad spot, isn't it? All right, let's go to the weekly chart here. An easy way to do this is go up here to indicators. I don't know if I can zoom in enough for you to see this. This is really zoomed in. Right here, this button right here. See how it says favorite indicators? If you scroll down and not be so zoomed in, it'll give you... Oh, sorry. This little 4 box. I haven't done this in a while. There you go. This 4 box right here. It'll give you default templates. See this one? This is oscillators. Click on that one. Zoom back out. Now, for me, I would actually have to go into each one of these and actually show and make each one of these lines thicker. So let me just do that for you very fast. Just because I want to make it easier for you to see. K and D lines. You can always preset these to different things. That's really up to you though. And last one is a CCI. I think I kind of want the smoothing light on this one just to show you. All right, now let's zoom in here. This is a weekly chart. Let's get rid of the volume because the volume always looks so nasty. My only problem with TradingView volume is I think they just make it too high, too much of the chart, and that's just a personal thing. It's not really, but to me it feels like it. All right. See how the RSI definitely had that big move here on the weekly chart. Definitely. It's momentum along with divergence. That's how I'm looking at it. So you see the divergence happening right here. You see the divergence kind of happening. Not so much. I guess more the divergence. No, it's not even divergence. It's coming down pretty nicely here. But you can see everything's pretty much pointing down. Even from over here, pointing downwards. Stochastic is going to have to be fine-tuned here to be for longer charts. This one feels like it's meant for like a 4-hour chart, not a... I put a... yeah, that's just definitely meant for, this is meant for a daily chart. Maybe we have crossover down, crossover up. It's meant for a daily chart. I'll just leave it at that. But usually that's an easy way to do it. You're probably gonna have to fine tune it for weekly charts if you want to, but again, these should technically work when it comes to like an hourly chart or a 4-hour chart. All right, crossover is happening here, crossover is happening here, crossover happening here. Well, guess what? You have a short-term breakout happening. Oh, that breakout was pretty pitiful, wasn't it? Oh yeah, these breakouts are all kind of pitiful. But yeah, those short moves are places where you feel more confident doing day trades. That's the way I do it. Like, you normally when you do a day trade, you look at the 4-hour chart, look at the daily chart. Okay, the daily and the 4-hour were definitely bullish. So whenever I see 5-minute setups or 15-minute setups, those breakouts will usually go in the overall direction of the market. Therefore, I want to hop onto those and watch me go ride. That's the way I day trade. So that's the way I'd be looking at these in the 1-hour, 2-hour, 4-hour charts. And then once I go over to the 15-minute chart, let me see if I can actually find something more recent. Because if I go to the 5-minute chart, I'm going to have to replay all that. Okay. So, crossover here. Not really the strongest momentum here. Not really the strongest momentum here. Okay, we got 2 out of 3. I think that's good enough. I guess 3 out of 3 right there, but honestly, this one's not my favorite, so let's not even try to use that one. That's the same line, yeah. Let's shrink this one. Yeah, that's the same line, okay. So you see that those 2 crossovers and that bullish move starting to happen here from hour to hour. So what you're looking for here is somewhat of a trend line break, and you're waiting for that momentum to shift. And then boom, you pop on, and then from here, you're going to be looking at a 5-minute chart. We already broke that down below this line. Doesn't matter. It sucks that we open up higher. Open up higher, another breakout here. Momentum is still going higher on the hour, the 2-hour charts. So you catch a ride here on the next breakout. This could probably just be a change of character or a break of structure. From here, test it out, support. You can buy down here or you can buy up here. I just buy up here so I don't have to worry about it because my stop loss is going to be all the way down here. Then you ride the wave, and depending on how you want to do this, there's different opportunities. Usually I'll find where the trend started and I'll find the highest point before the breakout, and that's what I'll be looking for. And that'll be my price target here. And there you go. Right there. Now, I did go a little bit higher, but for a couple days, I think that's probably the okay. Well, let's see. Yeah, that was all within 1 day, so that would have been the day strategy, so to speak. Hopefully that manages to help, but usually those presets usually do a really good job. I don't think many people use them because the colors are just atrocious, and not many people like to use the CCI, especially because the CCI normally looks like this without the smoothing line. So you can just see that, hey, right before this happened, you see how it tapped on oversold. The crossover here is already happening, but that's why I like to look at the hour charts. It gives me better knowledge. Or more information, I would say, than it gets easier in the day trading cycle. Okay, sorry for the little tutorial, but I think that helped out, right? Oscillators are what I love. It's all talking about momentum. You can see what's happening, but I think having a different visualization of how momentum is slowing, like if we're going down, 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 and you can see on an oscillator, hey, we're going down a little bit slower than we were before. Hey, now let me see what's going on here. A perfect play for that would have been, I wish I could go back there actually now. Again. Daily chart. This is Bitcoin. Remember how I talked about we could buy Disney on that massive Fibonacci level of support? Now, weekly chart, this thing is not fine-tuned for weekly chart, but you can see how we were starting to find that support level over here. We had that crossover. RSI, not really too low. And this is why we like the daily. CCI, definitely in that oversold territory before the pop. You have the crossover. Usually like to go with the crossover with the orange coming in, which means I probably wouldn't have bought until right there. But again, you don't have to be so nitpicky on the weekly chart because the weekly chart's not, none of these oscillators are fine-tuned for it. Fun fact, if you guys want to get a lot of these oscillators fine-tuned, go over to ChatGPT and just ask it for help and just be very specific with what you want. Like, hey, I'm looking to trade Walt Disney on the weekly chart, but my oscillator is kind of fine-tuned for something of a shorter time frame. Do you have any settings for A, B, and C for a week chart? So, my RSI length, do you have a setting for that? You know, should I have the source be close, high, low, close, high, low, close, high, low, close 3, high, low 2, whatever. You can change everything, which is nice. Maybe I'll make a video on that. Actually, that might be kind of interesting here. But yeah, stuff like that can be a huge help. But you got to fine tune a lot of this stuff. And this is the daily chart. You're seeing the crossover right there with the stochastic. That's working out. Crossover right here between the RSI and the smoothing line. That's more bullish. Right here, you also have it between the CCI. That's kind of bullish. And the other one I would say is... Let's go back over to the main Bitcoin one. Divergence from many indicators version 4. It's a custom indicator, but it pretty much shows you divergences that are happening on the chart. You don't have to listen to them all the time. When you first click on it, it's just going to give you basic divergences. You can add hidden divergences if you want, but usually when you see these divergences, they usually work out okay, short-term wise. So this is a 15-minute chart, so bear with me. Working out okay, working out okay, working out okay. Worked out for like 15 minutes, probably not the best, but when they add up like this, it usually suggests a larger move coming. Although you see some divergences right here, that was a good sign for the following half an hour, 40 minutes. Again, this is a 15-minute chart, so don't put too much stock into it, but you get what I'm saying. So that's also another one out there that you guys may enjoy. I'll make a video on a couple of these just so you guys have a better understanding, and I'll teach you guys how to use ChatGPT in order to do it. I don't think it matters if you use ChatGPT 4 or ChatGPT 3.5. I'm going to be using ChatGPT 4 just because I pay for it, and I think it does give a little bit more in-depth answers. But at least by me using that, you guys can just copy whatever I use there, because I've used it for plenty of my content. Sometimes I'm just not having a good chance fine-tuning things myself, so I turn to ChatGPT and say, hey, what settings would you think would work good here? And I'll say, hey, that one didn't work too well, and I think it's giving me too many false signals. It'll adapt it a little bit for me, and I think that's really a nice little feature there. You know, it's there to assist you with the work. It's not necessarily there to give you the easiest answer, but it's good when you have it. It's good when you have it. Guatemala or Panama. Costa Rica is great, but too expensive. And Nicaragua has been following Costa Rica for the past 10 years. More expensive. Just my thought. I'll have to look at Guatemala. My other thing with Guatemala is I don't think I saw too many coastal towns. I'll have to look to see if I can find a few. If I find one, I'll definitely add it to my list of places I need to visit. You know, what's another tropical vacation? All right. I'll definitely keep a look at it. Look out for it. Now, as far as Dogecoin's concerned, it just broke out. It's already hitting those levels of resistance because it's been consolidating downwards for a while now in this downtrend because of course, the huge pump that we saw. Right now, I would say be careful as it approaches the 50-week moving average here. The daily moving averages are very close below. We've broken down below the 20 here a few times over the past few months, but usually it's not the most devastating thing. Right, broke down here and here. It's not like it's like some huge level. Sometimes we have some volatility, but again, we've broken down here and it didn't really matter too much. There are some like Bitcoin, when you break down below the 20, it's like a really bad time for like the next few weeks. Dogecoin's looking at a golden cross here between the 50 and the 200, which is a very bullish sign. We haven't had that golden cross since the big spike over here. But this is, I think, was inorganic. So let's go back to the last time we had it. Jesus. All the way back in November of 2020, isn't it? So definitely a long time ago. So you should see some strong growth from here. I would expect us to try to retest like 9 cents, maybe 10 cents over the next few weeks if Bitcoin manages to break out. If you're a little bit more pessimistic or you're worrying about should I be selling Dogecoin and things like that, really, if Dogecoin comes back down below, like I would say 7 cents, I'd be a little bit more concerned and I might be looking to shave some off. If you have a position and you're already happy with it, I would just keep moving that stop loss up though, just in case. Again, this is the 4-hour chart. You're seeing how it had a death cross. Nothing really happened afterwards, and in fact came back up. Watch that 20-day. But just understand the overall longer trend is definitely more bullish right now just because of that golden cross right here. And we normally don't have those. I'm pretty sure you'll see a lot of people talking about this over the next few days. I'll put out a Dogecoin golden cross here tomorrow. I'll put out a video tomorrow for you. And kind of going over some of those next levels. But that next level of resistances are just right up here around 9.5 cents. It's not too far. But when you're talking about 7.5 cents, it's a good 20% profit. It's really nice. But yeah, the overall trend is still in a really hot spot. Maybe if you wanted to feel a little bit more safe, just make sure it stays above this. And by then, you'll already know if it's breaking down below the 20. But again, the 20 is not the biggest thing here. It breaks down below it all the time, and it doesn't seem to have much chaos here. You're really just hoping that Bitcoin can hold and then break out. That'll drive Dogecoin back up towards 9.5 cents, another 15-20% profit. Then you can feel more likely to sell out there to take some profit as you wait for it to come back down, or perhaps break out, but then you could like re-enter the position later on for either a breakout or you buying at a support level of some type. And Bitcoin's done a whole bunch of nothing while we've been talking. See, and it's never bad to learn new strategy. Just make sure you test them out. Oh, some paper money. Oh, sorry, Loki's up here trying to get some attention. Yeah, he wants a. Oh, he wants a chicken treat. Chicken treats. I got him new treats. Chicken treats are on the table in the back. And hey, I'm happy to see you. Bitcoin versus Ethereum long run. Which would be rather invest heavy? Personally, I'd be more invested in Ethereum. That's just me. If you want more stability, though, I'd go with Bitcoin. Bitcoin maxis are have a whole nother level of dedication to Bitcoin. It's more of just a market cap play. But at this point, if you guys are maybe a little bit more cryptic, like if you guys are new to crypto, or maybe you guys just don't know where to put the majority of your holdings, usually Bitcoin is that tried and true safe thing. And I guess the easiest way for me to show that to you is Coin market cap. Year to date, Bitcoin's up 126%. Ethereum is only up 70%. So the market caps are vastly different, I know, but I would say that Bitcoin's that tried and true. A lot of times, if you're playing a market cycle, I tend to like Ethereum. And again, this is because it's year to date. Maybe if I go back over here to Ethereum. It's 127%. See, Bitcoin's in a weird spot because of what happened with FTX, but still, it's up 141%. So actually still up 20-something percent. Still in a good spot. So I personally like the technology behind Ethereum more, but you can't go wrong with holding Bitcoin. I just think that's the way it's kind of been for a while, and everybody thinks of Bitcoin. They think of Ethereum too, but Bitcoin is Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Everybody loves it. Everybody's addicted to it. There we go. And an easy 409. Yeah, that was great. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, what do you call hidden divergence is what pays the bills? Hey, Stacks, that's definitely been a good one. Oh, if you guys did want to find it, I probably should have explained it. If you go over here to that divergence, I made a video about this, I think, once, but you go over here to settings, it'll say regular divergence. You can go to hidden or regular and hidden divergence. But there we go. Forgot about that one. I'm a heavy divergence trader. Usually divergence is a good way to go. As long as there's not fucking news happening, I tend to like it. This past couple weeks, it's been freaking annoying for me. Maybe because I haven't had as much time. I haven't been as focused on the charts as I probably should have been. And I feel like that's been making me kind of dulled down in my senses of what's coming. Because even looking at this right now, I mean, just look at that fucking mess right here. But we have an opportunity to break out. It's just... That's just such a weird looking chart. Such a weird looking chart. I'm hoping we can break out here. Again, we only have, we'll know over the next 24 hours or so if we're going to have that big move. Hopefully, as we kind of approach some of these trends, we can break out before we hit some of those more stable, what do you call them? Support trends. I'll just call them that. Show me the charts, I'll show you the news. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, that's why I was so surprised by what happened with the Argentinian president. I was not expecting him to pop Bitcoin off the way he did, but he wants to get rid of the peso, do the dollar, and all types of stuff, so we'll see how all that goes. But okay, everybody, I'm going to call it a night right now. I need to go give Loki some food, and he seems to be kind of really bothered right now. The overall gist is Bitcoin is still managing to hold strong. Watch out for that 20-day moving average. Nothing much has changed now since Bitcoin is a little bit more bullish. If you guys want to be trading breakouts on altcoins, that's definitely the way to go. Just make sure that you guys are not going too heavy in things that have been bought up a lot, like Solana, because if Bitcoin does break down from here for whatever reason, news event or whatever, rejection of the ETF, whatever, just understand it's going to cause a lot of those overbought tokens to just come back down. For things that have come back, popped off, come back down quite a bit more, those are going to be the plays that I'm looking for because I know they can jump right back up in a hurry, okay? So have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow I may be streaming twice just because all the news coming out.